Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, unfortunately, it looks like the war in Ukraine is intensifying, and that is causing issues with with the stock market. The stock market was down today overall, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel, and that is the oil stocks are doing well. And I have, as a special treat today, a a listing of stocks that are set up very, very well and ready to go. So I'm just going to play a little bit of a little bit of a, a promo, and we'll go from there. From Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it looks like oil and mining stocks are soaring with this war in the Ukraine. I have a great list of oil stocks that are ready to buy right now. All you need to do is take a look and go to the address below, http //bit.ly, bit.ly /DTF 0091 for the list of highly rated oil and gas stocks. Well, let's get into it, and let's first start with the with the indexes. They were all down today, so basically that's kind of where we're at. The Dow was down basically a little over percent, 1.89% change down. S&P was down, and so was the NASDAQ. The Russell 2000 was also down. So we're in a situation right now where we are pulling back. Let's take a look at the SPDR first to kind of see what is going on. And of course, the SPDR is the ETF that covers the S&P 500, and it's a critical it's a critical index. It pulled all the way back down. Here it bounced off of the consolidation, and now it's moving up back up to the 200-day line, but it is looking very, very weak. So that's one thing that we want to kind of be very careful about. We are still in a market in correction, so we got to be careful. You want to stay mostly in cash right now. There are three areas of the market that are doing well. One of them, of course, is the oil and gas. The other is the metals area, the mining and metals. And the third is defense. And the other areas that we've been so accustomed to, the tech area, not doing very well right now. The market is pulling back, trying to figure out kind of what's going to happen with the other shoe and how it's going to drop, with the situation in the Ukraine. I've got basically, I did add a stock today to the portfolio, and that was NOG, N-O-G, and that is Northern Oil and Gas. It was at a buy point, and I kind of want to show you that one on the chart, on the live chart. Basically, the situation here, when I did buy it this morning, this one was very, very well set up. The checklist on this one, 100% on the checklist, and in terms of the pattern rec, we were basically right over the pivot, so 1% above the pivot. But it does, it may pull back tomorrow. It is up a little bit after hours, but the oil and gas group in general is doing very, very well. On the technicals for this stock, we are above the 200, the 50, the 21, and the 10-day line. We're 7% above the 10-day line. So this one is looking fairly good. I did buy 1/2 position in this at 26.08. It closed today at 26.44. So hopefully this will hold. This is one of the stocks that I have been adding to. I also did add to the small portfolio another small position in Nutrien. That's NTR. That's a fertilizer stock. That one is also doing well, NTR. And this one has been up for me significantly in the past. Now, it did pull back a little bit after hours, but it did pull back a little bit today, but it's up after hours. So we just continue to see strength here in some of these fertilizer stocks. Just want to show you the allocation in the small portfolio, and that basically is this. I'm almost fully committed here. I've got one full position left of cash as you can see, my best performers currently are Matador, which is an oil stock. Then comes Nutrien, Cheniere Energy, Williams Company. These are all oil and gas related. I do also have a position in Raytheon. That's my one defense stock. Northern Oil and Gas off a little bit today when I took this but it's back up after hours. And then, of course, I'm pretty much flat on Google. And, of course, Google, GOOGL, will split 20-for-1. So that's something that we want to kind of be cognizant of because that may be a very big thing. That's going to happen in July. So we won't have anything on that until July. Let's look at Matador Mtdr. This is a top-rated stock, and this was one of the stocks that's in the list that you can get that is available very easily. All you have to do, let me put that up on the screen, in order to get that list of highly, of stocks that are near the buy point, that are in the oil and gas area. Definitely go to this address for the free list. It's bit.ly /DTF0091. I'll leave this up on the screen for a little bit. Matador is definitely one of these. It is pulled now above the buy zone, so it's a little bit extended, not very much. But again, this one does have a 100% checklist. The symbol on this one, MTDR, Matador Resources. On the technicals for this one, we are above the 200, the 50, the 21, and the 10-day line. So we're looking fairly good in this particular stock. So this was one that you might want to take a look at and possibly do something with. There is another defense stock that is in range right now. I think that you should definitely take a look at some of these defense stocks. I'm afraid that with this war in the Ukraine, we're likely to see an uptick in the defense stocks. Now, I did buy Raytheon RTX yesterday. This one is called this is LNX, which is L3 Harris, and this one is set up very, very well. This one is set up very well. LHX, of course, is the symbol on this one. Now, for LHX, it is still in the buy range. I want to show you the live chart on this one. We are right above that 246 buy point here, and we are in the buy range. So this one is possibly actionable here. Not quite as good as checklist as some of the others, but still quite good. 78% checklist on this. In terms of the pattern rec, this one is 4% above the pivot, so it's currently right now in the buy zone. And this one is L3 Harris. This is also one of the sectors of the stock market that is doing well. Again, the three sectors that really are doing the best currently are, of course, oil and gas, and especially the E&P companies. Those are the smaller companies. Then you have the metals as well, and then you also have the defense sector. So those really, if you're looking to put money at work, those are probably going to be your best places to plant your money. Now, Raytheon, this is one that I did add yesterday. This is also a very strong stock. I just wanted to show you this one as well. It's down a little bit today. Let's take a look at the live chart for RTX. RTX is one of the biggest manufacturers of defensive missile systems in the world. So I suspect with the increased spending that we're probably going to see from Germany, this is a potential. They have some potential sales on the table. I'm sure that they are going to do very well this next quarter. On the technicals for RTX, this is the technicals. We're above the 200, 50, 21, and 10. So we're definitely in an upward trend here. We do have a strong checklist. This is pretty much the same as L3 Harris, 78%. So that's looking pretty good. So these are ones that this is a group that is doing particularly well. The aerospace and defense area currently 28 out of 197. which of course is the entire market. So quite in the top part of the market right now to look. All right, just getting to the volatility in the market. The volatility is up today. Unfortunately, it's just a tough market. We're going to have an address by Biden tonight, and hopefully that will calm the market down. But right now, there's a lot of jitters. So you just don't want to be in, you only want to be in certain areas that are working right now. Again, the areas that are working, at least for me, oil and gas, metals and mining, and defense. Those are the areas that are working the best for me there. Also, this is also the one I want to show you. This is one I did buy today. It is Northern Oil and Gas, and this one does have a 100% checklist. So this is something that you also might want to consider. The stock of the day today is MU. That's Micron Technologies. And Micron is not a defense stock. It's not an oil and gas stock. It is sort of a tech stock, but it's really if you got to be in tech, this is one you want to look at. But it's still fairly weak. It's not ready to buy yet, but there is a cup with handle pattern that is going to start to happen with the stock. So definitely something that you want to take a look at. Now, if you want to get a look at the highly valued oil and gas stocks, just go to this address, https://bit.ly/DTF0091. So thank you very much for that. Let's get to some of the questions, and let's see what we got. Thanks. Can we buy CRM? CRM is I probably would not be a buyer of CRM. That, of course, is Salesforce. Probably not at this level. I just don't want to be buying. It's sort of like, I know this is very hard to deal with, but right now we are in a situation where this stock is moving downwards. So we just really don't want to be in this stock. I mean, it did have a little bit of a bounce after hours, but in general, this stock is not doing well. It has the death cross right here. I just want to kind of indicate that. So this is not a stock that we want to be in. Can we short it? Well, I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more. This may be a potential short, but right now I just wouldn't be a short on it. And there's a lot of reasons. So I just think you can't really do anything with this right now. I would be extremely careful. So with CRM, I just think you have to just pass for now, and that's really that's really the thing on it. I just really think you got to pass on this one right now. I mean, it potentially is shortable. We did have it come up to the 21-day line. There might be a potential bear call spread on this one. That's what I would look at. CRM for a bear call spread that may work. I do think this one probably is headed lower. Let's look at the weekly to see kind of what the look is. But yeah, it definitely came up here, and it's tested, and I do think that we were likely to move. We were likely to pull back. So this one, they didn't make their number. It looks like. Let's take a look at their. Yeah, they had a increase in sales, but a decrease in the in earnings. So be on the lookout possibly for a bear trade on this one. I may do a bear trade on this one, but I wouldn't short this right now. I'd be a little bit circumspect on this one right now. Let's take a look from TikTok. Thank you everybody for holding here. So appreciate it. Let's see. Birthday. Okay. Well, any comments on SEN? Let's look at SEN for somebody on TikTok. SEN. And take a look. I'm not getting anything there. Oh, let's see. SEN. Let's see if I can bring that up on the screen. No, I'm not getting anything there. Sorry about that. Time to go long on Bitcoin? I don't think so. I think this is not a good time to be in Bitcoin right now, but let's look at the Gbtc to kind of tell It looks as if, it looks as if what people are demanding right now is gold and not Bitcoin. It did pop up a little bit today, but the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has the death cross. The one I think you want to look at is probably GLD, and that is the ETF that tracks the price of gold, and that's been a relatively significant performer if you're looking for a safe haven in these times. This is one that you could possibly take. This is one that you could possibly take a look at. This is GLD. This is the gold ETF. And in war, this typically will do well. I don't know how long the war is going to last. I hope it's going to be over very soon, obviously. But right now, this one's in the buy zone. It's the gold shares ETF, symbol GLD on this one. And this one, if you want to hedge some cash, this is not a bad place to be. The gold and the gold miners have been doing well. Also, let's check in over on one of my favorite gold miners. It's called Franklin, Nevada, FNV, and this one, this one, oops, I had a. Let's see if this will let me do it. FNV. See if that comes up here. That one, great. Okay, so this is Franklin, Nevada gold, and this one is in the buy zone right now. So if you're interested in the gold area, this is more of a safety play. It's a double bottom pattern, very, very good pattern. Franklin, Nevada gold, this is one that you might want to consider. The gold miners have been moving up as of late, currently 44 out of 197. So if you're looking for the Bitcoin, I urge you to take a look at some of the gold plays, because it does look like we are going to see some volatility, more volatility in Bitcoin, and gold is probably the place to be right now instead of Bitcoin. All right, what was that website again? Well, the website for this is www.Dallas Trading Floor. You can go directly to that to sign up for the oil and gas list, or alternatively, you can just go to the profile, click on the link, and you'll be able to see this one. You'll be able to see the website right away. So very easy to do. But the address, www.Dallas Trading Floor. Let's get back to some of the questions. SE, this is C Limited, of course, and Alibaba. These are two stocks that may be good shorts. Let's look at Baba first. The Chinese stocks have not been doing well for quite a while, and there's just a lot of reasons for that. But Alibaba is under a lot of pressure, and it does like it is appearing to move down. These tick markets are where I've been looking to short as it's moved up to the 21-day line. Let's see if we can find something to look at here. I do believe this is a potential, even though they just came through earnings, their sales were up, but their profits were down. So it's not looking that good for Alibaba. It's 107 right now. It was as high basically back in December of 2020. It was almost at 340. I think that was the top. So this has lost basically 2/3 of its value, and it may be going lower. Here's the thing. After a stock has lost this much value, it can be very difficult to short. You typically want to get it as it's losing about the first half of its value. The fact that this is down 2/3 from its high, I think probably not a good short on Alibaba. Let's look at C Limited, SE. That's the other one. And that one is also in a downward trend. This one, again, we were all the way up here basically in October of 2020, about 372. We're currently at 126. This has lost 2/3 of its value as well. So not a very good place to be right now. All right. With that said, let's move over to some of the TikTok people. Thank you. Bentley Systems, I think is what you're talking about. I think that's BNT. Bentley Systems. Let me see if I can pull that one up. I think I know what stock you are talking about, and that is a Bentley Systems. Let's see if I can get that up here. Get the stock symbol on it. All right, and it's Bentley Systems. And let's take a look. Bentley Systems symbol BSY. I couldn't remember that offhand, but BSY is the symbol for Bentley Systems. And let's take a quick look and see sort of what's going on there. This one, again, similar issues to most of the tech stocks. This is one of the reasons why we really need to be careful about the tech sector right now. It's just not performing as well. Computer systems, software design is one of the worst performing sectors in the last few weeks. And that, of course, is Bentley Systems is there. We do have the death cross on the stock right here. It definitely made the death cross here, and it is moved lower. Now, it did move up today, but it's off after hours. This essentially was on earnings. Let's take a look at the earnings to see on Bentley Systems what happens. They had they had a nice sales increase, 22%, and their profits were up 35%, which is looking very good. They do have a positive cash flow. This is not a growth stock, which is good, but their PE ratio is 45. Right now, this market is not rewarding it's not rewarding high PE stocks like it used to. So this may also be a potential short based on that. I would BSY is the symbol. So Bentley Systems, I'm afraid it's just not the place and the time to be in this stock. It's just not performing as well as we would have liked it to. It's just one of those things. All right, let's look at Target. Thank you, Drunk Squidward. Definitely like that name. This is TGT. They did, this is also the action on the earnings was good for Target. There was definitely a gap up here. I think there's an earnings surprise. Let's take a look and see if we have an earnings surprise on them. I do think we do. Yeah, we do. Okay, we were up. Well, the sales were up 9%, which is very good, and the profits are up 19%. There seems to be a lot of interest in this, but we're still in a downward trend on Target. I'd be very, very careful entering a position here. We have a death cross. See, many of the stocks are, because we're in this market that is moving lower, many of the very best stocks are not set up well. They're under the 200-day moving average. We want to see more strength. So as the stocks come out of this downward trend, then we can buy them. But right now, I just don't think that we can buy this stock. It just doesn't appear to be in the kind of pattern that we can buy it. So right now, basically for for targets, I say TGT is in a downward trend and not a buy currently. So I think you just got to be super careful. Again, this is a tough market to trade. We are in a market in correction. So really, we don't want to be buying a lot of stuff. We want to be building our watch list. It's painful because, obviously, if you've been around any amount of time, you notice last year, practically, many of the things that you're buying were working. That's not the case this year. So we got to concentrate on the areas of the market that are working. Currently, the areas of the market that are working the best are the oil and gas area and the mining area, and also defense, and that's defense relatively recently. So we've got to be very cognizant of that. Another stock that I'd like to show you that I own, and I do think that this one is setting up very well. And there's two stocks in this area that I think we can definitely take a look at, and this is Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto, of course, is one of the largest mining companies in the world, and they're based all over. They're basically in the UK, but they have mines everywhere. There is going to be inflation in the market, so anybody that's producing basic metals and and mining companies, they're tending to do better. Also, the oils are doing better as Europe is going to have to scramble because, of course, their renewable energies will not be able to see them through. They're going to have to buy oil and gas, and unfortunately, they decommissioned this in Germany to a great extent. So they're in a bad situation. So we're going to see a lot of inflation, and one of the areas of inflation, of course, is the basic mineral. There's several areas that I've targeted. One, of course, is oil and gas. The other one is mining, because they have to have metals. Another area is, believe it or not, fertilizer. Why? Because commodity crops, commodity foodstuffs are going for an all-time high. The fertilizer companies have done very well. Why? Because many of the farmers are using significant amounts of fertilizer to increase their yields, because the market is so good right now because of the inflation. So those are areas that I'm looking at, and I'm also looking at defense. Currently the market is in a downward trend, so we have to be careful there. But Rio Tinto is definitely one that we can definitely look at. It's right below the buy zone, and I think this is going to move very nicely. It's got a 100% checklist here. Also on the technicals, it's essentially above all of the major indexes. So this is set up very well, likely to go higher in this market. On the pattern recognition, we are basically just below the pivot, 1% below the pivot. The pivot on this one is 80.44. We are currently at 80.15. So this one is set up nicely to buy. So if you're looking to put some money to work, I'm not recommending more than a half position, but if you are looking to put some money to work, Rio, if you are looking to to put money to work. But I would recommend starting small on this one. I would recommend starting small in this position, maybe a half position, and I think that would work probably very, very well for you because of this area is just doing very, very well. Let's go to another question. Thank you very much. Let's see, Tony. Thank you. Also love a furniture company. Right. That's interesting. Let's see. Christy Snow. Christy, how much cash should we be in right now? That's a great question, Christy. I've been trying desperately to invest, but I'm still almost 40% in cash, 40 to 50% in cash. I think that's going to be a good place to be right now. It's a very uncertain market. So, I would be, I think 40 to 50% in cash is kind of where you want to be. It's just so 40 to 50% in cash. I think that's going to be your best bet. It's just, again, the market is in a downtrend, so we've got to be careful. We got to protect our capital, and we got to be more careful about entering positions. So 40%, 50% in cash right now. That's really, I think, where you got to be. Let's see. Hey, great. Thank you very much, Troy. Let's look at PLBY for shorting. Let's take a look to see if it's shortable. PLBY. And by the way, everybody, I'm trying to put together a master class, if you're interested, on shorting and also option strategies for shorting. And so if you're not on the action trade alerts, it might be a good thing to do, because I'm gonna be putting this out there hopefully soon. This is interesting. This is Playboy Magazine. You know what? This is a blast from the past. Have not seen this one out there in an awful long time. Magazines just aren't what they used to be in the 1970s, and unfortunately Hefner is dead. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a short or not. Here's the thing about this one. It looks like it has given up most of its money. It was at 63%. Currently, it's at 16%. So we're looking at it's fallen by 3/4. Here's the thing: when it becomes when it becomes too obvious, and a lot of people aren't in it, I would avoid it. I probably would not short this one. I wouldn't buy this stock either, but I wouldn't short it either. I think there's better candidates. I think that there's some very good opportunities to short. Now, one of the ones that I'm looking at for a possible short is Block. The symbol, of course, is SQ. It used to be called Square. Now it's called Block. This is one I do think that is shortable, and I want to show it to you. This one has a little bit more meat on the bone. When you're shorting, it's very important that you have sort of enough meat on the bone. This was fairly high. This was at 289. This is its peak. And you can see I bought it right there, and I sold it immediately after that. It came up to this 283, and then I was buying it as it was breaking out. And then that was way back in July of last year. And look at this. It's just done nothing else since. We do have the gap. We do have the death cross on it. The 50-day moving below the 200-day. This indicates weakness. And as you can see, this happened. This weakness symbol happened back here in November. So late November of 2021, that's when it got started to get really weak. And as you can see, it just moved down. Now, it's rallying back to the 40-day line, and as you can see, it's pulled back of this. So this I believe is shortable from this point down. So I think it's shortable down from about here to about. I think it's going to fall probably about to a little bit below 100. My guess on this one, and I'm just guessing here. I haven't done all the analysis yet, but I'm looking at between a low being 95 and an upper being about 125. So 125 to 95. I do believe that this is likely to fall this distance. Why? Because look at this chart. You can see it. So this is one that I definitely think we can possibly do something on. It's SQ, that's Block, and this would be probably a bear put spread. So I may be putting together a bear put spread on Block, as it is pretty weak. Let's take a look at the fundamentals just to see if this is possible. The technicals, it's below the 200-day line, below the 50-day line. It has been rallying as of late because it's above the 21 and the 10. It has been rallying, and as you can see, I think it's getting some weakness there. On the checklist, we have a 56 checklist, which is not a good checklist, but it's not a terrible checklist. Here's what I believe is going to happen with this stock. If it continues to be weak, we're going to start to see some of those funds that are in it move out of that. But we still have some very strong funds in here. Wells Fargo Growth, MFS, American Century. These people are all going to eventually have to sell because of the weakness. And that is when we can probably benefit from it moving lower. And it does look like that is the case. Now, it may have reversed. We will see. But I don't think that is the case. We had an increase in sales, but we had a loss. So this may be the beginning of its decelerating sales here, and also we are starting to see decelerating profits. We went from being positive last quarter to being negative this quarter. So this one might be in a situation that it moves lower. This has got a very high PE ratio of 75. It does have cash flow, so it's not a growth stock. It does have cash flow, but the PE ratio is extremely high. We probably will see this come down to about a 30 PE, cutting it in half. That's why I'm guessing we probably will see this thing move lower. So on a fundamental analysis basis, that's if you're looking for a short, that's one of those I think you can take a look at, SQ. Hopefully, if you're on the action trade alerts, I'm going to come out hopefully with a trade on that one as well. I do have a bear call spread on Tesla that I just did. I want to show you the chart on it because it was painful, but I'm looking at it and it's just set up, and it is unfortunately a short, and that is one that I will be showing you. Let's see, I can bring this up. I think I can show it to you. I think I can show you this this bull put spread that I have. Let me see if I can share this out with this new with this this new thing I got. By the way, this is called Option Profit Calculator, and I've just been using this. Is sort of the first time I've really been using this, and it's very nice. It has some nice features on it. This is the bear call spread that I put out on Tesla today. This gives you kind of the graph of it. Let's take a look at sort of how I'm looking for it to trade. See if I can sort of give you a better look. There we go. Okay, hopefully this will help a little bit. As you can see, I'm expecting it to move lower, and if it does, of course, then we will be in the money on this one. This was a credit spread, so we initially have a credit on this one, and of course, the whole idea here is to basically not to as it moves lower, as it moves below about 864. That's where we're going to see it come into to its hopefully to earnings there. This is through 318. So hopefully by 318, the price of Tesla will be below that 850 level. If it is, then it's very highly likely that we will make all the money on it. So let me show you the chart on that. And this is a short that I'm working on right now. I have not put it out yet, but I did enter it today. I did enter the trade. I did enter the trade today. So let's go over here to Tesla and take a look. And of course, this trade makes the money if Tesla moves below 850, and that's very, I hate to say it, but it's very likely that is going to be the case. Currently, we have traded up to the 21-day line, and then we found some resistance. We're at 863 right now, and I do believe that we are likely to move lower. The trend, unfortunately, for Tesla, at least for right now, is a downward trend. So I kind of wanted to show you that. And this trade works. This is a bear call spread, and it works as long as Tesla moves below 850 by March 18th. So be on the lookout for that one. We're going to be putting that out there. That's a bear trade that I think you might like. All right, how much? Okay, that's cash. All right, we took that question. What do you think of Tesla? Well, it's not in an uptrend, by the way. I don't want to be argumentative here, but if you look at the chart, and I think you have to take a look at the chart, and I'm just basing this totally on the chart. I love the company. I think Elon Musk is a genius, but I think that unfortunately, the stock is in a downward trend. As you can see, this is my trend line, and it just pulled below that trend line. It did not make the reversal line. It's true, today it traded up, but if we look at the trend here, the trend, at least from a daily and a weekly trend perspective, is lower. So right now, unfortunately, unfortunately, a Tesla is in a downward trend. So Tesla is in a downward trend, and that is why. And that is why I decided to do the bear call spread on this one. That's why I decided to do it, because it is in a downward trend. So sorry to tell you that. Not a good time to be long Tesla, possibly short. Also love a furniture company shorting. Yeah, I think there's going to be some opportunities into short. And I do a lot of bear call spreads because they tend to be very, they tend to have a very defined loss area. All right, let's look at the Gbtc. This is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust (GBTC) holds about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So I use it typically as a proxy for Bitcoin, and it's so you can definitely you can definitely do that with that. So let's bring that one up. There we go. All right. So this is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and let's kind of zoom in on a little bit and take a look. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try to zoom in so that you can see it a little bit better on the screen, hopefully. And we did have it move up today above the 50-day line, but on the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, we do have this problem, and that, of course, is the death cross here. Now, this is an ETF and not a stock, but it still has many of the same characteristics. Currently, the trend for the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, it is in a downward trend. So probably not a very good area to be in it right now. Relative strength is only 23. What has happened is that in terms of speculation, many people right now are turning away from Bitcoin. Now, I'm not going to say that's in totally in the long term, but at least for right now, these few weeks, they've been turning to gold. The uptrend has been in gold and not in Bitcoin, as you can see. Now let's pull this up here. The gold, the ETF GLD, this is right in the buy zone, and it is an upward trend as opposed to the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is in a downtrend, unfortunately. So that's kind of the deal here. Tough. With all this volatility, how do you hold any stock for any length of time? It is difficult, Christy. You are absolutely right. It's very difficult to do. Here's what you got to do, and this is hard. This is very hard. You've got to buy them when they're relatively low in the base, and you've also got to buy essentially in the right sectors. This is one of the main things. This is why I keep harping on these sectors. Now, I know these sectors are not very sexy, and most people, they're used to trading tech stocks. I totally get it. This is I cut my teeth in tech stocks, not in commodity stocks. But right now, the market is telling us, it's absolutely telling us that the place to be is oil and gas. And I want to show you this because this is sort of the way. You want to be in the right sector of the economy, in the right part of the stock market. Because if you are not, it's going to be very much more difficult to pick winners. So that's why I'm so high right now on the oil and gas. I'm very high on this area. It's the agricultural chemicals area. Not a huge area either, but I do have a stock in here called Nutrien, and that has been doing very, very well. It's the top of the list. It's the largest of the chemicals, the agricultural chemical stocks. As you can see, I did add to it. It pulled back a little bit during the day, but it is up again after hours. So these are the kind of areas that we want to be focused in on. By the way, if you want to take a look at some of these stocks that I think are setting up well in the oil and gas area, you just take a look at this. Oops, take a look at this. I've got all the wrong ones here. I'm sorry to tell you that. I do have a list of these that you can get very, very easily. All you have to do, let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, no. So the easiest way to get this is just to go to www. Dallas Trading Floor. I have a link to the list for the stock for the oil and gas stocks. These are only stocks. I've only included stocks here that have a 99 relative strength or better, that is the best. And there's quite a few of them, by the way. Also in this list, and I kind of want to, maybe I could bring this list up. In this list, we also have identified the stocks that are right at the buy point right now. So definitely something that you can definitely take a look at. Let's see if we can pull that up, that list up, so that you can see it. Let me do this real quick. And I want to show you kind of what, and also so that you can see it. This list is a list of oil and gas stocks that I have curated for everyone, so that possibly we can take a look at them. I want to show them on the screen here. So let's do that. Let's get that tab up here, and it's a Chrome tab. There we go. Okay, so these are the stocks these are the stocks right now that are highly rated in terms of the oil and gas sector. If you'll notice, there's two of them here. One, of course, is one of them is called Ranger Oil Company, ROCC. We'll look at that one in just a second. And then the other one that is right at the buy point right now is called Continental Resources, and this is a CDEV. So let's look at CDEV right now. Let's look at the chart of it, and I want to show you this one. This is right in the buy zone, CDEV, and this is Continental Resources. There we go. So Continental Resources came up, and let's pull that up so you can see that right now. So I'm going to go and grab that screen. And there we go. This is Continental Resources. And again, that was on the list, of course, that you can get if you go to www.dallastradingfloor.com. You can definitely get it there. So this is the list. This is right in the buy zone right now. This is a highly rated oil and gas stock, and it's very cheap, only $8.71 a share. I don't normally recommend stocks that are in this price range, but this is right off our buy point, and I do believe that this is based in the Permian, which I do think this is going to get a bump, a definite bump. On the technicals, it's above the 200, the 50, the 21, and the 10. Also on the pattern recognition, we are basically 4% above the pivot on a cut basis in 25 days. So this is looking like it's looking very good. It did pull back a little bit during the day, but it has moved up after hours. This is a cheap one that you might be able to do well on, doing quite well in the market. Again, this is one of the oil and gas drillers, very small stock, but they did come through earnings, and their earnings reports were excellent. Their sales were up 114%, and their profits, and that's the key, 259% in the quarter. So this one is looking strong. It's a relative strength of 99. We basically have 50% of funds in here, which is amazing. We have positive cash flow in this one, and look at this PE ratio. It's 20. This is one of the reasons why we need to be looking at some of these stocks that are we need to be looking at some of these resource-based stocks, because this is where the market is going, and this has been where the strength is. So I just wanted to point this one out. Again, if you want to get in on that, of course, you can go to www.dallastradingfloor and sign up for that. All right. Okay. Oh, great. Thank you, Troy. Do you ever check oil and gas from Australia? Well, currently I have lists of stocks primarily on the international front. I can take a look at some of the internationals, but no, I don't. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I don't. But that's a very good point. I take that, and I want to see if I can do something on that as well. But thank you. All right, let's see if probably last few here. This is from Christy. Thank you, Christy, for watching. Do you like Zim? I do like Zim. It has been a winner, and the shipping area has been a strong area of the market. So this is an area that, definitely is something that you can definitely look at. It's currently extended. The price on this one, the chart on this one's a little bit extended. Really, the top of the buy zone was about 60. It's currently at 67.50. So the question is, could you buy this one? Well, it's got a 100% checklist. It's very good, but it's extended. So what I would like to do is see if there's anything in the transportation and shipping area that we could possibly get buying. But I do like the stock. I just don't like the fact that the stock is extended. So Zim is a good stock. It's just run up a little bit, and it's not at a place that we can buy it as easily. So let's just see if there's anything we can possibly look at in the shipping area to see. Okay, so shipping. It's going to be transportation, shipping, and let's see, LMNOPQRST. Right. Transportation, ship. Which up until very recently wasn't much of a deal, but it is now. So let's look at this great chart. This is the overall chart. This is the entire sector. Let's take a look at the top stocks. Of course, Star Bulk is right at the top, then Matson, then Pangea, and then Zim. I do like Zim, but I think the one you want to look at is Matson Lines. And there's a lot of reasons for this. Mainly, one of the major reasons is this one is it's a U.S.-based company, but it does have very strong international presence in Asia. So this is one, it's down a little bit today, but it just came through earnings. The earnings were spectacular on this one. This is one I think you might want to look at. It was 81 up. The sales up 81%. The profits up 379% quarter over quarter. I do think this one, it is a little bit extended, but might be actionable. Let's see if we can take a look at it. This one possibly is actionable, even though it is a little bit extended. I want to look at the pattern rec on it to see what the pattern rec is saying on this one. This is probably the one. It's got a 100% checklist, which I really like. The pattern rec is basically, it's 13% above the pivot. So it definitely has been moving up here. It's pulled back a little bit. I think if this one pulls back to about 100, you could buy this. This would be my suggestion for the shipping area. Well, I've gone almost an hour here. Wow, that's a long time. Thank you, everybody, so much for taking a look at the show today. I just wanted to bring up to your attention again the highly rated stocks that are in the oil and gas area. All you have to do is go to this address, https://bit.ly/DTF0091. And if you're looking on TikTok, you can get the same information. Super easy to do. Just go to my profile and you'll be able to sign up for this list as well. Also, there's a free action trader list as well. Well, everybody, thank you so much again for your time and your eyeballs. So appreciate it. Tell your friends about tell your friends about our little show because it is really, it's growing, and but the more likes we get, the better off we are. So if you could like this one, that would be great. Help us get out to a lot of people. Also, tomorrow I will be back same time, about 5 o'clock at the same time. So till then, happy trading.